year and what was the situation that you departed from the record label?
From
From your last
the last deal,
yeah.
I think we got signed at the end of '88 or '89. What happened was, like I said, one administrator, we got signed by uh, a man by the name of Cecil Holmes, who was president and vice president of black music at Columbia.
Hmm.
And he signed the group, and he had an A&R guy named Kevin Whitley that, was over our music, but Kevin was a friend, you know. And we were there for maybe about a year and a half, because when this guy, his name was Don Einer, that came in, he was kind of like just dropping everything that Cecil had signed.
Mm.
And we were just sitting there, and I guess we was getting ready to get dropped too, but the management that we had at the time knew him personally because he was also Luther Vandross's manager.
Right.
And he talked him into, letting us do, but the guy said, well, I don't like the mix. Talked him into giving us some more money, did the mix over. Then after the mix was done, we were still sitting. And Kevin Whitley, who had left also with Cecil Holmes, went to Atlantic Record under Sylvia Rome.
Hmm.
And Sylvia, I can't remember in detail everything that happened, but Sylvia wanted to sign the group. She wanted to buy, because we were still signed. She wanted to buy us out of that contract. And I forget the details, but it never really took off. We were off the label by about 90. They just let us go because at that point they realized we didn't want to be there.
Hmm.
If you didn't believe in us enough to put it out, then why should we stay?
Right.
You know.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So, even after the labels, were you still able to get placements and still work with some credible people?
Yeah. I also signed a publishing deal with Sony Music,
Okay.
and Sony was, putting me in different rooms to write with different people,
Mhm.
to get on projects. I wrote a song for this. It didn't come out as a single, but I wrote a song for this group that called the Mac Band. They had a hit single called "Roses Are Red." Roses are red, violets are blue. That was their big hit. So I was on that album. And then I worked with, like I said, Barbara Weathers after she left Atlantic Star. I cut on her first single. I was, I was working with a lot of people, in and out. Some people I was writing for, some people I was just in the session, maybe vocal producing,
Mm.
or even doing background. My first thing, I did background on this Jamaican artist called Jimmy Cliff out of Jamaica. I think he was like the next biggest thing is Bob Marley.
Wow.
Over there, and I got a chance to sing background on about 4 or 5 of his album called Cliffhanger. It was the name of the album. So I was doing vocals, background, everything I could do. Wherever I can fit in, I got in.
That's dope. Yeah, a lot of people wish they could just
Yeah.
get in on
I
anything.
did background on Freddie Jackson.
Mm.
It's just, it's coming back to me, different people that I was working with, because they had me just doing things randomly,
Yeah.
And my career was, cool for me. God put me where I was supposed to be and let me do some things that a lot of people didn't get the opportunity to do,
Mm-hmm.
I
I mean, it's definitely cool because I know to this day you still get a check in the mail from
Yeah.
so you know what I mean it's definitely worth it. Definitely got some work in and definitely it still pays. So
Yeah.
that's the good thing about certain music endeavors you get on.
I think when you get in this thing, man, if you getting in it to chase the dollar, you're not gonna last.
Right.
But if you get into it because you love it
Yeah.
and you feel this is your calling,
Mm-hmm.
then you enjoy it. After all these years, I've been doing this thing for 47 years.
Yeah.
I made money, but more importantly, the relationships that I built with so many people that's hot right now.
Yeah. I always say relationships is definitely
They everything.
it could go way farther than money.
Yeah.
And another thing I always tell people is chase the vision, not the money.
There you go.
That's always the thing, because you know what I mean, even if the money don't come, you still happy because you're doing what you like, you're doing what you love,
Right.
and you still chasing your dream.
Right.
So it's like, it's a win-win either way, long as you're happy with what you're doing and you're getting stuff done and you're being productive. So what do you do currently with when it comes to music and recording or managing?
I'm more on the management side now than recording. If the right situation happened, the right artist, because I'm old school, I'm an R&B writer.
Right.
So obviously I'm not writing for these young kids. We're not speaking the same language. But right now I'm focused on the management. I have 2 sons coming up, man, and they have their own production company called The Chefs, and myself and my daughter are managing them guys. One's called Cold Worldwide, other one is One of a Kind, and they have The Chefs is their production team. They're writing and producing for themselves and trying to get on other projects. So right now that's my focus. I think I was placed to do what I do for them, to do what they do now. They don't have to go through the same trials and tribulations that I did.
Right.
They can bypass a lot of that stuff and just focus on their craft. So that's where I'm at right now, and that's my joy. I love seeing them come up.
After your music career, and still staying with that career, but helping others out, or guiding younger people.
Right.
That's always a good thing to do. It's almost like giving back.
Giving back, yeah.
So, are there any other current artists that you worked with or even developed over the time in the past few years that you still been around?
Yeah, there's one that's, I think she's a superstar and she's blown up, and the public probably know who she is by now. Her name is Caitlin Nickel. She is currently on a TV show called Blackish. And when I met Caitlin, she was 11 or 12. Me and her father kind of came up in the game together, and he wanted me to work with her. I never wrote for her. I just helped develop her. I sort of introduced her to becoming a recording artist, not just a singer.
Okay.
Those are 2 separate things.
Definitely.
And I kind of broke into that. She's doing an acting thing, and now I hear she's signed to a big deal. So I'm proud of her.
It's just always good to help people, and it's always the memory that counts, because that lasts a lifetime. Okay.
My daughter, KB Culler, she's the one. She's the one now. She's in charge.
Okay.
I've taken a back seat. I'm more of a advisor. Because the game is different with the social media thing. And I'm an old guy now. That's why they call me OG. What I mean? I can go so far with social media, and she takes it to another level. She has that go-get energy. I'm kind of laid back. Okay, once y'all got the situation, let's talk about how we're going to do this deal.
Right. Okay. Yeah, the wisdom. The person with the wisdom that, you can make executive decisions because a lot that goes on when it comes to the music.
These young kids want to be stars real quick, and they not doing their research and their homework on this paperwork. It's called the music business, and it's like 85% business, 15% music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have
That's
your business right, man, and you just being used. I say to young people, do your homework.
Yeah.
Do your research. Don't let the money ruin you. And that's what happened. They flashing that dollar. You hear about these guys getting, millions of dollar deals. But before you make a penny, you paying those millions of dollars back.
Yeah, it's like a loan.
It's a loan.
It always remind me back. I heard of this Kevin Gates story. I think he told it before. All about paperwork, because I know when he got out of his first deal, the people he was dealing with, just to get his name back, he wanted to use his name. It costed $1 million. he had to pay them out $1 million just to continue with his rap career with that same name. And he was already deep into it, so it's just like, yo, I have to pay them out because they had him all tied up in different type of paperwork to the point where it's like, you have to pay us out or we're gonna sue you, and you're not gonna be able to do nothing with that name.
See, a lot of people don't know, artists, when they're going into the game, that you should trademark your name first. Own that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so if you have to walk away from a deal, you own that name. You take it with you.
All right, so Derrick OG Derk Culler, man, thanks for the interview. It was definitely a pleasure having you and talking about your career and your upcoming and a lot of interesting things that some people may not even know about you that they should know, because it's very important knowing certain heavy hitters that's behind the scenes, and not everybody gets the credit, not everybody see the credit. So it's definitely good to have your face shown to the world to know who did certain things, who touched on certain things, and who worked with some major artists. So it was definitely a pleasure having you.
Pleasure.
And
My pleasure, man.
man, I appreciate it, man. And we're gonna definitely be doing some more work in the future, and even with the guys you're managing, the chefs. Cold Worldwide and One of a Kind, we're definitely going to touch base with them and see the projects they're working on, and whatever other artists you work on in the future. We can definitely see what they got going and hope for the best. You know what I mean? Wish for the best.
I'm still here.
All right.
All right, man. Thank you, man.
No problem.